Hey guys, this is Ryan here. Here to show you a replay of a war attack I just did a few hours ago, and it's the Valkomatic attack. Um, and so this attack is basically made up mainly of Valkyries, and you're going to be using the new Valkyries, level 5 Valkyries. It has two golems to help set the funnel, and then we use a queen walk with four healers in order to have the queen basically take out one side of the base. It helps with the funnel. Um, and then inside the clan castle, we have all giants, max giants, and that they're actually the giants plus the Valkyries are going to be doing the main attack on the core of the base. Okay, so let me go to the base here and I can discuss basically how I did this attack. Okay, so a few considerations for the Valkomatic is choosing where you want your queen to go in, and also where you want your main kill squad going in, which is the Valkyries and the Giants. So here you'll notice that there's a single target Inferno here, and this one's the multi-target Inferno. So generally you want to take out the single targets first, because the fact that we're sending in 7 Giants plus 10 Valkyries means that the single targets are very susceptible, so you want to take that down as soon as possible. And you'll notice from before I have a freeze spell, and that's actually to freeze this multi-target, and it will basically nullify the Infernos altogether, because the single target will maybe it'll take out one unit by the time it dies, and then as long as you freeze the multi-target, there's not going to be any damage at all. Okay, so basically we want to enter in from this side here. So you want to go in either from this direction or this direction, and it doesn't really matter which one. And so after you just choose one of the corners to enter in from, I look at the heroes. So right here you have Archer Queen and Barking. Sometimes they'll actually put the heroes right outside, right here, and that kind of changes your strategy a little bit. So let's take a look at how the Barb King radius does not reach this outer compartment, and the queen is the same thing. So you can actually have your queen walk come in from here, walk all the way through, and at this point she'll come in this way, and up here she'll do the same thing. Sorry about that. And then coming in from this direction, and none of the enemy heroes are actually going to touch you. So that's actually perfect, because you want to keep one of the heroes alive. And actually I prefer having the Barb King alive, because what will happen is once you take out these defenses and these buildings here, you leave the Barb King, you take everything out, and then you have your Valkyries come in this way, and then the king will actually, you see how the Valkyries come right in to this section. And if you do it right, the Giants will also be killing this and then move in towards the core. And the Barb King is actually going to jump out and try to run towards the Valkyries here, and it'll lure all of your Valkyries into the core in order to get them pulled in. You could do that with the queen too, but if you see in this case, like, what she'll do is she'll jump out to here, and then she'll start shooting this direction, and your Valkyries will just run this way, okay, and they'll go around. There are certain ways to get it to work, which is basically trying to get some of your troops to go this way, and instead of having the queen jump out, she just walks this direction, and then your Valkyries can be pulled in the core. But that's a little bit more difficult. So basically I chose to go from this direction because of the BK. So I did that, and again, it's a little bit further away from the clan castle. You see here, you might lure the clan castle, and depending on what you want to do and what's in the clan castle, you could do that, you could not. I chose not to, because I didn't want my Archer Queen to get distracted. Okay, so here sometimes you have a defense building in the middle of this compartment, like so. This guy has it on each of them, but sometimes you won't. It doesn't really change how you're going to deploy things, but generally speaking, you'll want to send your golems in this way, and then you'll put a line of wizards behind them. And the reason is that you want to clear out this compartment as soon as possible. Okay, and if you put your wizards right here, you'll actually take out this this archer tower as well. And the best thing to do is to send your wall breakers in this way. Okay, so you'll need to have enough wall breakers to go through the outer wall and the inner wall. And the way I did it is actually went a little bit offset from the archer tower, because what will happen is if you send them directly into the archer tower, you're sending them directly into this wizard tower here, and the wizard tower is one shot your wall breakers no matter what level. So you don't want that, right? You want your wizards to be shooting the golems, which will be like sitting right here or sitting right here, depending on what you do with your wall breakers. So if you break your wall breakers here, your golems will be sitting there, and then the wizard tower is just shooting right there, which means that your wall breakers can continue along the way and get this inner wall there. Okay, and then the thing about getting your wizards is, you know, I put basically 4 wizards back here in a line so that they all move forward as a wave. You want to actually take out all 3 of these defenses so that your golems move kind of in this direction. Okay, you don't really want them to be going this way, because the way this works is that the queen will come down this way. She'll take out these defenses this way, and then your golems will take out the defenses this way, leaving these 2, if you've timed it correctly, to get your giants. So the way I did it is I sent my giants in this way, or actually I guess I sent them in through this direction, and they're going to take these 2 out. There might just be the cannon left, that's fine, because depending on how you time it, the queen might have taken out this. And if this is cleared and this is cleared, the only way for the giants to go is this way. Okay, so you put a jump spell here, and everything's going directly into a core. And the nice thing is, just like I was mentioning earlier, if you have the BK still alive, the Valkyries will basically follow this route as well. They'll go in here, they'll pull the BK, and then they'll run right directly into the core. Okay, and basically what you do after that is you'll want to drop a let's get a circle. Drop a rage around here, because you want to charge everything into the core, and then your second rage can be probably around there. It doesn't really matter. You'll actually see in my replay I drop it a little bit late, but it's not that big of a deal. And then again, like I mentioned before, your freeze is going to be on that Infernal Tower. If you get the queen, that's fine, but I'm guessing that I was guessing there's going to be some Teslas back here, so I wanted to drop the freeze right there. And you'll again notice in my raid, I even dropped this a little bit late. I could have done it much earlier. And so that's basically all you have to do. What happens is that you'll take out this air defense, your golems and whatnot will take out their air defense, and then the last 2 air defenses are on such outside of the radius that when your queen walks in from her queen walk, and she'll do this little thing like that, the healers will start running around with the rest of your troops and stay far enough away, because the golems and the giants will try to go to the edges, whereas your Valkyries are running around on the inside, your wizards are running around, your Barb King, your Archer Queen are all kind of on the inside track here, the main area. And then you're pretty protected until your Valkyries or your giants take out these air defenses, and even if they try to target you, you might lose 1 healer or so. And then I kept 1 extra rage just in case you need to use it on your Archer Queen. So generally speaking, you'll use it somewhere around her walk in order to keep them alive. In this case, I didn't really need to do it because he had level 9 point defense here. And I also chose this direction so that there would be no crossbows attacking me, even though in this case you wouldn't really have reached anyway, but sometimes you'll have crossbows that can reach all the way into this compartment. Like if this crossbow is over here, I'd be a little bit more worried, right? Because there's a little bit section, a little sliver that the queen can be attacked at. Anyway, so usually the clan castle, during the rest of the war, I was seeing clan castles with hounds, so I just guessed that there was going to be a hound. And again, this space wasn't scouted, so I had no idea, but it didn't really bother me. If anything, I could just poison it. And because most of my attack squad is ground, right, Valkyries don't really care about a hound. As long as the balloons get poisoned, it's no big deal. Okay, so let's take a look at how the raid went down. Okay, so I dropped my archer crane, and I actually dropped my wall breakers a little bit late. So you see how they ran off to the side because they were trying to go over to the closest building, which happened to be these two instead of this first one. But it turned out okay. The archer queen still came back a little bit. It was a little bit scary that she might go in the wrong direction. Everyone knows that the worst thing about queen walk is the queen going in the wrong direction. Okay, so right around here I dropped the golems, right? So you want to time it correctly so that this area is cleared by the time the queen gets far enough along, just so that this cannon is still alive. Okay, so I sent my second set of wall breakers there. So you'll see, I should have paused it earlier, but I broke the wall just a little bit offset from the archer tower so that the golem would walk a little bit offset from where the wall breakers would go, and I sent the second set of wall breakers in through that same hole so that again it would be offset from this wizard tower, just to make sure that things aren't going to be one shot by the wizard tower. And then what I do immediately after that, because I can't multitask all that well, but immediately after that I break open this wall, which is why I brought 10 wall breakers. I broke open this wall, and it's whenever you have something that's really close to the wall, a spawn point that's really close to the wall, you don't need any tanking ability. You could just send the wall breakers in. But I couldn't do that for here, for this wall junction, because that cannon is going to take out at least one of my wall breakers before I got there, and I needed both, right? So what I did was send my giants in first for my clan castle. So there we go. All the giants go down. As soon as it's distracted by the cannon, and I also dropped my BK there. As soon as it's distracted by the cannon, I send my 2 wall breakers. And there's no, I'm not really worried about any splash damage. There's no splash damage here, so it's not a big deal. And the single target Inferno is starting to target my golems. I don't really care about that. The golems' job is actually basically done. I only wanted them to clear these 3. If they get down here and clear a little bit more, that's great, but I really don't need them to be doing work anymore. Okay, so as soon as that pops open, I drop my jump spell. You want that jump spell ready by the time this cannon goes, because if that cannon goes, if it dies, then you're screwed. These giants are going to start going this way. If you're lucky, they might try to pound on that wall, but a lot of times they'll just go right along, and you can't stop giants from going in the direction that they're going already. They're not going to retarget into the core. Okay, so I dropped my jump spell just in the nick of time. You could do it earlier if you like, just if you want to be safe. And then I dropped all of my Valkyries, every single one of my Valkyries. And you'll see that what is left is these 3 buildings plus the BK. And the nice thing actually is this building right here is already taken out by the wizards that are coming in. And these wizards will try to take out this elixir storage, and hopefully they do, because then you'll be left with these 3 and then a direct shot into the core, and you won't have any Valkyries accidentally going around to the side. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, you'll see how the BK is now attracted by these giants that are going into the core. That's exactly what you want, because now the Valkyries, oh, and here the wizard tower was able to kill that elixir storage. So the Valkyries have perfect position. They're going to go to this gold storage, they're going to go to the BK, and then they're going to go directly into the core. Right? You don't have to worry about them wandering off over here a little bit. There's the BK. They're about to get that, and I dropped my rage just so that I could cover the BK, I can cover the Town Hall, the Infernos, and any Teslas that were going to drop on this side. And then you see how fast the Inferno went down? It went down immediately, and then I dropped my free spell. You'll see how late I dropped that free spell. I could have done that immediately because you'll see how fast the Inferno goes down. I don't even have time to react. Boom, and it's down already. And then I haven't even dropped my second rage spell because the Valkyries are actually still affected by the first rage spell whenever they run out of a rage. Seems like they're still affected by the rage for a little bit. I remember what I'm doing here, and then I drop my second rage, but you see they kill those and then they run right out of the rage. So if I had done it a little bit earlier, they would have done more damage, but it doesn't really matter. So the CC Hound is finally killed. I dropped the poison on them just to slow them down. I'm not really worried anymore because the raid is basically over. You'll see that all the air defenses are down. All my healers are still alive, and the Queen and the King are running around at full health. I kept an extra wizard at the end just to help clear any buildings, and I noticed that the Archer Tower was attacking the Queen, which was under heal. So I wasn't worried that the King was going to die and then the Archer Tower would retarget. Okay, so that's the rest of the raid. And you'll notice I never used my second poison and I never used my second rage. If you do everything correctly, you won't need to use that last rage. That's only to protect for the Queen. If it's a higher level base, then yeah, you're going to use that rage while she's walking. But other than that, you shouldn't need to use it unless you just want some extra firepower. If it's like a big base and it's taking a long time to kill, you don't want to run out of time, then that's a good time to use your rage. And let me just play that again just so that you could see how long it took. 2 minutes and 17 seconds. It wasn't anywhere close to the 3-minute limitation. Okay, all right, so that's the Valkomatic. And it's a pretty good conversation. Hopefully Supercell doesn't nerf it, because they tend to be doing that recently with any compositions that are working for Town Hall 10. So, but we'll see, cross our fingers. And the thing is, having max level Valkyries is pretty key here. And also having pretty high heroes. I don't know if this is doable with 30 heroes, but definitely 35 will allow you to chew through most spaces. I've done this exact same composition with 35 heroes, and I've taken an almost max Town Hall 10 with 3 stars. So hopefully this works for you, and let me know how it goes.